Hello and welcome back. And if you haven't already been, just welcome anyway. Yeah, we're out again this evening. It's Monday. Can't remember the date, but I'm at Brook, and I'll give you a little show in a minute on the way down. Yeah, so I'm fishing Brook tonight. There's actually a comp. The West Wight danglers who I fish with, they got a comp here on Saturday. Now I can't make Saturday because I'm going to Snowdon. We're walking up to Mount Snowdon, Daisy and myself, for her birthday. So we're not going to be here. So I wanted to have a little stab anyway. Target species for the comp is a bass. So essentially, I'm going to target the same. I'm going to have a go at a bass. Got some sardine fillets which I actually bought from Morrison's because they're on the cheap. I've got a couple of razor clams. What else we got? Bit of mackerel, a few bits of gubbins that I'm going to chop up for chum, and some squid and some black lug. So I'm going to fish two big baits and one 2-hook flapper, which I'm going to alternate through. Just again, as always, just keep the interest going. I don't really like to fish two big baits all night. I find it a little bit boring, to be honest. I'd rather catch some pout or something, you know, but there we go. We'll see how we get on anyway. Obviously, bycatch could possibly be a ray, so we keep our fingers crossed for one of those because I haven't had one. Yeah, it looks stunning. Let's say it's 5 o'clock. Low tide has just been, and high tide is about 10 tonight, so essentially I've got 5 hours of the push right up to high tide. So I'm going to give it an early night as well. That means I can knock it on the head at 10 o'clock and get home and get into bed and get a decent night's sleep. There's no one else down there at all. I'm roasting because I've got my thermals on because I know it's going to be a bit cold later. So enough gas in. I need to find myself a spot and get my gear set up, get some baits in. See you in a bit. Right, I've got both rods set up and 2 rigs on. Not a great start. So when I was going through the bait that I've got, and I said I got a black lug, yeah, I got a feeling. I took it out the freezer and left it in the cupboard under the stairs. So I got chest freezer under the stairs, and yeah, I think it's just sat there because I specifically remember getting it out. So yeah, that's not great. So sorry, babe. Because I'm not going to get back to that for about 5 hours. So let's have a quick look at the rigs. Alright, so on the first rod, which is the 13'2" Rocket Surf, really nice rod actually. I'd say 13'2" that one. It was the first rod that I had of 13 foot or over, and I still really love it. That was gifted to me. Right, so this is on a just standard running ledger. I've got about 3 or 4 foot of line there that it can run on. It's not directly on the main line, so I get sick and tired of keep cutting off the clip. So I've done it differently, and that's what I caught the conger on the other day. And on this one, It's basically a butterfly sardine. Like I say, bought pre-packed, pre-done. I've just stuck them together and bound it together, and some glowy beads and stuff. That's a 5.0, I believe, 5.0, and a Chinook pennel. And then on the other rod, which was going to be a squid and black lug wrap, that's on an up and over. Same deal. I think it's slightly smaller hooks. I think that's a 3.0 wide mouth and a 2.0 wide mouth for the pennel, just because that's what was already set up on it. Both of them are on 5-ounce leads, grippers. Like I say, that up and over's got probably about a 6-foot trace on it, and this one has probably got about 4-foot trace on the running ledger. Yeah, let's get these in. Haven't fished this part of brook before. This phone is terrible, so I do apologise. Haven't fished this part of brook before. Normally I fish just around there, basically as soon as you get down, and I have fished over there before, much further. Ooh, this is not easy. Right over there, and I had a little 2-pound bass, so I'm hoping something similar tonight. 2, 3, 4, 5-pound bass would be fantastic. Right, let's get these in. Alright, so they're both in now. First one, which was to put the one on the running ledger, that's probably only gone about 40 yards. I didn't want to give it a good heave-ho because it's not clipped or anything. And obviously, because the lead slides up and down, I've just sort of dinked that, maybe 40 yards, I reckon, at a push. And that's the one with the sardine. The squid, however, which has also got, it's got a little bit of a piece of sardine wrapped on the side. Like I say, it's supposed to be black lug, but I haven't got it. That one quite a bit further, probably about 80 yards. But it came unclipped. I always seem to have problems with my up and overs. I don't use springs or anything because I can't be bothered, to be honest, with the fat. So there's no springs. So yeah, maybe I just need to look at it and adjust something on them just to make them a little bit more less prone to coming unclipped. But the third rig rather, that I'm going to use tonight is a Wessex rig. I did have a couple of 2-hook clip downs with 2.0s, but I've lost them. So I'm going with a Wessex rig, which is essentially it's giving me a bit of the a bit of a running ledger, and on the bottom of that, probably, I don't know, 2.5 foot, and that's a 2.0 wide mouth, really strong hook. And then on the just above, on a smaller, shorter snood, that's just got a little, believe that's a 1.0. Looks like a 1.0 wide mouth again. So slightly wider gape, so should take it. But like I say, I wanted to chuck some worm out on this, but I'll probably chuck a couple of razors out just to have a look. I never really fished with razor clams, so it'd be interesting to give it a go. As the tide pushes up, I've got some manky old bits and bobs there that I'm going to chop up, chuck in. I might chuck it in now actually, because obviously the tide's pushing, and then I can start chucking a few closer in, see what happens. Right, so I've had a second cast now, so I've put that Wessex rig out, pulled the first, the up and over, and that's been smashed by crabs, which I don't mind, to be honest. I'd rather it be getting done by crabs and bring it in and it's untouched, because then it does make you think, well, if there's crabs about, then hopefully there's some fish feeding on them as well. Second rig though, running ledger, that's got fluorocarbon on the actual snood, and got into a snag, not a very big one, and it gave way. I thought I got everything back, but yeah, snapped the knot. It snapped right on the hook knot because there's still a tiny little bit of a loop on the end of the line. So I've just chucked another couple of hooks on that and chucked it. In fact, it's not chucked back out yet. It's there. So yeah, so I don't know what happened with that. That was sardine. So I really want to see. I think the sardine is going to attract the crabs, but yeah, hopefully, like I say, I've got another, I think about another hour and a half really before dark, maybe 2 hours. Be interesting. I haven't really seen it get dark apart from last night, and then I was sat indoors watching a movie. So Superman. Yeah, so hopefully we can bring something in, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think anything's going to happen until it gets dark, but I've seen quite a few rays come out in the daylight hours, so that's quite interesting. That's why I wanted to give it a go, really. So now, at the moment, I think what I'm doing is predominantly one, I'm fishing for rays with an up and over. I've got 2 up and overs, so I'm constantly got one going out. And on the left-hand rod, I'm going with running ledger, and then the Wessex rig. So, and both, I'm just putting those like 30 yards. That's it. And see what happens. If you don't try, you don't know, and it'd be nice to get a bass. Ta-da! That's a little bit of a result. There's it's basically an old mackerel bag which has got like the heads in and the stuff. So the stuff that I chopped up for chum, I normally chuck all in one bag, freeze it, dig it out. Like 2 months later, there's 3 black lug in it. So I have got some. I don't know what it's going to be like, but it means I can strap some to some squid anyway. Yeah, it's clearing up a little bit. There's a decent bit of colour in the water, considering we haven't had any rain now for probably about a week. There's some decent colour in there, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I can pull something out. I know what will happen. I'll resort to some smaller hooks later on, but you know what? If I do, I don't mind. I'd like to catch something rather than nothing. But yeah, at the moment, conditions are pretty good. Like I say, it's a little bit overcast. The sun's trying to peek through, but it's not quite. We've got, like I say, clocks went forward last night, the night before, Saturday night. And so I've got an extra hour of sunlight tonight. So I'm thinking about 7ish, 7:30. So I'll get 2.5 hours in the dark as the tide's pushing right up. So kind of, not perfect, but pretty good. Yeah, but we'll see. So yeah, I think I've figured out why that up and over with the blue splashdown keeps coming unclipped. I don't think it's coming unclipped from the bent, you know, the bent clip. I think it's coming out of the splashdown, because it's just free moving. So I think even in the cast, I think the splashdown is moving back, dislodging the hook straight away. So I've decided to change on that side now, on the right hand side. They're still up and overs, but I was given these rigs. Thank you very much, Kev. It's a fixed one, so it's not like on a run-in, but they've got size 2.0s on. And I was reading up the other night, and it did say the best hook size for like a thornback ray is a 2.0, because they got quite small mouths. So this one is now baited up anyway. So that's baited up with, that's just one fillet sardine. They're quite big sardines. So basically I folded it up, bound it, so it's quite neat, it's quite streamlined. And that's got two O's pennel hooked. It's got like a little SRT spring there, so as it comes up, it'll loop in, go in the Gemini bait clip, nice and compact. I can't do it at the minute, but so basically it's quite a small rig. Whoops, it's quite a small rig. It's quite compact. It's only about 18 inches when it's all hooked up. So really nice and neat. So I should be able to give that a good heave ho and get that out some distance. I've got 2 of those, so I'm going to fish that on that right hand rod all night. Few little bumps and rattles, nothing major. Baits are getting smashed by crabs. But yeah, like I say, not dark yet, so the witching hour is upon us. Yeah, that rig, that's going to be the one. I feel really good about that one. The bait's really nice and neat. It's a nice compact rig. I feel like I can get it out quite a way. The light is just starting to go. Tiny easterly wind tonight. But yeah, I'm feeling lucky, man. It doesn't look like it on camera, but the light is really starting to go now. It's about 7:30, so I've been fishing really properly for about 2 hours now, and haven't really had any interest at all. But now the light's starting to go, I'm hoping it might bring some fish on, really, because yeah, it's been nothing at all. Like I say, I'm going to carry on fishing the way I am at the minute, which is with bigger baits, because I want to fish at least an hour into darkness with it, just so I, just to give myself a better chance, and then maybe I'll get like a 2-hook rig out. But I haven't really got many small baits, so I can only put some small bits of squid on there, small bits of mackerel or something like that. But I'm about to chuck out a bit of mackerel actually, because I haven't tried any mackerel yet. But yeah, so far so very quiet, but there's still plenty of time. I've got to get the tip lights on in a minute. Like I say, it looks so light on there, but it's really not. So next cast, tip lights are going on. Right, now I'm hoping you can see this, because the light is going, but I've got the torch on there. But like I said, I still haven't got the tip lights on. But that's the next bait that's going out. So that's going on a running ledger. It's half a fillet, quite a big fillet of mackerel. But what I'm going to do, I'm not going to bind it. I'm not that fussed about crabs picking at it, and if they tear it apart, they tear it apart. But I just think visually in the water, it's just got a lot more going for it to be in the water like that than it would be if it was like torpedo shaped. It's only for the bass rod. Like I say, I'm not chucking it out very far, 20 yards max. So I'm thinking I don't need to bind it on really. Oh, I think I've actually got a bite. Something's definitely having a go on the right hand rod there. I'll leave it for a bit. But that's squid and the black lug wrap that was. That's on one of those little up and overs with the 2 O's. Oh, how gutting is that? So yeah, so the bite on the right hand rod basically was totally stripped, so something had a go at it. And then I just had a proper bassy looking bite on the left hand rod. I left it for ages, and I held it and held it and held it until it went again and struck. And it wasn't there, but the rig was a mess. Yeah, gutted. Definitely looked like a bass bite. So there's something out there, so I've just put the mackerel fillet, that's just gone out now. But it's properly dark now. I've literally put it out about 10-20 yards.
hopefully we'll get some in. Getting some definite knocks on my right hand rod, which is the taller of the two. That's the one that's at distance. That's got the rig that I felt pretty good about with the sardine. Basically targeting a ray with that one. Getting some really positive bites and then nothing. Quite frustrating. So frustrating. Just had another really good knock on the right. I thought it was going to go fully because it was a really good bounce. And then just gone. It's happened maybe 2 or 3 times tonight. I'm going to leave it in case it comes back. Yeah, it was a decent knock. So I'm going to bring in the mackerel fillet because nothing's happened with that. Chuck the Wessex rig out. I've got a sardine head on the bottom hook on the 2.0, and a little piece of mackerel on the smaller hook. But yeah, really frustrating.
Oh man, I think I've got myself into that bad, really bad habit that I had a little while ago. That's two really good bites I've struck, and I've been pretty positive they've been bass because they've been really erratic, and I felt it go as I held the rod, so went in and nothing. So that's happened twice now, so I really am a little bit gutted. I think I've missed my chance. I've chucked it straight back out, rebaited it, and I've got 2 rigs ready to go. It's 20 past 9. Like I say, high tide is just after 10. I did say I was going to knock it on the head at 10 o'clock. I might winkle another half hour because there's fish out there, man. I've been getting bites, I just haven't been able to nail anything. Gutted.
Right, let's do it. I'm going to chuck out those last baits. I'm going to say it out loud, the last cast. And that might bring me a little bit of the good luck on the last casting. So, last chuck is going out now. Well, how funny is that? I said the last cast and I said it out loud to try and get me some luck. It's only a little strap conger, but it's a fish, man. I've just saved the plank. Oh, I can't believe it. I've literally only just chucked it out. It makes me want to chuck another bait out, to be honest, because I'm going to give it another 20 minutes. I mean, I've got the other bait out, but there we go. Tiny little, very sandy conger. Let's get it straight back in. Not going to believe this. The other rod's going, like, as I was casting the other one back out, the other one's starting to go as well. If I get a fish on both, I'll be super chuffed because, like I said, It's last cast on both rods. But there was some really good knocks, and now it's gone a bit quiet. Gutted. I'm gonna say there was, but I think it was a conger, and it was probably on there for a little while, getting all tangled up, and then he's managed to unhook it itself. Oh, that's funny though. A bite on both rods on the last cast. Maybe I should do that more often. Really announce it to the world. Oh, right, well, I've packed one rod up, and I'm going to pack that one in now. But it just goes to show you've got to stick it out, because yeah, it saved the blank. It's only a Strat conger, but I'm super chuffed, man. I'd say I didn't blank, so that's all good in my book. But yeah, I'm going to bring that one in, pack everything up. So I just want to say thank you for stopping in and watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope there's some content there that you can, I don't know, take some inspiration. There's a lot of people comment quite often that, you know, they haven't got their rods out for ages, and watching the videos is making them feel like they want to get out fishing again. And you guys should do it, man. Honestly, it's epic. It's highs and lows. It's a bit like bipolar. Because the lows can be quite low, but you know what? When you get a fish, it makes it all worthwhile. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please do push the like button. You know, the like icon, whatever. And if you haven't already, then please do subscribe. And yeah, until the next one, stay safe, man. Take care.